Guys, I must say, for the first time in the whole of this season, I'm starting to see Pochettino as someone who could potentially be a Chelsea coach.
You ain't so tough with that bad boy talk. I'ma get it how I'm living, I'ma walk the walk. Outline my lines, I rap through thought.
Yo, what's up, people? Welcome back to Football Therapy with me, your host, Jan. I hope you're doing well. Really do hope that. I'm going to elaborate what I just said, okay? I never really warmed to Pochettino, not because of the Spurs affiliation, maybe subconsciously, but as a manager, I wondered if his skills had waned a little bit, like if he is really the guy. I did think he was I always thought he was a theoretically appropriate appointment for this Chelsea, this iteration of Chelsea, where we are in our transition, our evolution. I thought, yeah, the guy before the guy. And I never really bonded with him listening to his words. But what he said today in today's press conference really made me think, actually, yeah, you're a real one. And I'm down, man. I'm not completely sold. If we get slapped up the final two games and he says something bad, then whatever, then he could go. But I really enjoyed what he said today. And we're going to reflect on that. We're going to preview the Brighton game, talk about all the injured players that have returned, and indeed, going into next season. Poch has spoken about some stuff about next season as well. So it's incredibly positive and, dare I say, exciting. So thank you for being here, guys. As always, thanks for supporting the content. I love you very much, and if you want to show some love, sweet love and support is what I was going to say, please do consider liking, subscribing. If you choose to subscribe, hit the bell. Okay, so I'm going to show you, Brighton's latest lineup. I've built a lineup for Chelsea. We'll talk about the injuries, but I do want to start on Pochettino, who said some great stuff in this press conference, like I said. So firstly, let's start off with the fans, because he was posed this question, and he has been asked this throughout the campaign, like winning the fans over. And he was, the question was broken down more like the fact, how to get the fans to like you, which I thought was a quite reductive way of asking, but a way he'd understand in his second language. And he says, look, it's not up to me. You ask the fans. And then what he came out with, and the fact how he's coming out of this now, the second to last game of the season, and this is not what he said at the beginning of the campaign, as a PR move, makes me feel like this is just an authentic thing that came out when asked. He says, look, I'm not a fake person, me and my staff, we're not fake people. I'm not going to come into Chelsea and start kissing the Chelsea badge. Some coaches do that. And he says, no, not me. And he says, not just because I don't feel like it's the right thing to do, but he says, because I want to feel the love. He said, not from the fans, but with the experience. Do you know what I mean? I'm paraphrasing a little bit here, because remember, he himself is not speaking in his first language. And he said, but he was referencing his whole staff, saying, we want to build a relationship and build something special and then feel the love coming round together. And I love that, because he could have gone over to the away fans after certain wins and started to get a few cheap moments and stuff. And I feel like he's just working. He says, no, when I've built a Chelsea team that these fans can be proud of, and we achieve stuff together, and I feel the love from the experience, not from the fans singing his name, but from the experience, then, together the fans can decide and the coaching staff can decide, this is working, let's do it. And I love that, because he could have done so much of like I say, would have been early doors PR moves, trying to he could have I don't know if he would have dug out Tottenham, but doing certain things. But he's saying, no, bun all that sort of showmanship. The work comes first, and when we do the work, he's a very emotional guy as well. It's not like he's a Maurizio Sarri or this guy who's just going to sort of sit on the sideline and, Rafa Benitez or whatever. He does want to, get emotionally involved with the fans of the clubs he manages, like a sort of Conte or a Tuchel. But he wasn't going to come in and be fake. And I love the fact how it's taken this long for him to talk about that, because it's real. He could have said this stuff at the early doors, and the fact how it's come out late, it means more for me as a fan to hear it. So I like that, and it made me feel like I just saw an authenticity in him and a realness, and the way he spoke about it. I was like, yeah, you're being honest, and actually I respect you for going about things this way. So yeah, another thing he spoke about is next season. which is quite positive. Hold on, I got to sneeze. Sorry, I thought I had to sneeze, and then the bloody Amazon man came over. Right, what was I talking about? Yeah, Pochettino. Yeah, speaking about next season, very, very exciting, actually, because it feels like stability is here, and the vast majority of Chelsea fans... Chelsea fans. I love it. The vast majority of Chelsea friends want the gaffer to stay, right? And he says, look, next season... And he wasn't asked about, are you staying next season? Because he was asked about, I don't know, he was talking about excuses. And he goes, next season, I don't want to talk about young players, inexperienced players, or all these injured players. I want all my team available. You know, maybe he was also inferring that a couple of experienced players will come in, as well as all these current youngsters will be a year older. They'll all be grown up slightly. So he's like, I don't want to talk about these excuses anymore. Let's be settled next season and let's go for it. And then he was like... Yeah, we've conceded a lot of goals, but the defence has been inconsistent. Of course, loads of players out injured. You know, Fofana out injured all season. Levi going in and out of injury. Chalobah wasn't available till the late part of the season, and look how important he's been. So Silva, Colwill, and you know both starting fullbacks, and Chilwell and James, and then he sort of referenced the goalkeeper as well. I think it might have been a bit of a Freudian slip when he's like, yeah, it's 14 million. No, he didn't say the money. He said this goalkeeper from the MLS who came in. You know, obviously he was never supposed to be the starting goalkeeper, Petrovic. It wasn't the plan. But here we are. And he says, look, he's done an amazing job. He's come in and done amazingly. So which he has. He's done really well, Petrovic, for the goalkeeper he is. 14 million quid MLS goalkeeper. But the truth is, I've said it here, it's not the biggest problem, but I do want a super goalkeeper and build from the back. And we score loads of goals now. Great. Let's sort out the defence. So Pochettino was saying, you know, really unsettled defence, always changing, and this goalkeeper. And then obviously went back and defended Petrovic. But I think it was a little bit of a slip They want to sign a centre-back. They want to get a couple back, like Fofana, etc. And they probably want a goalkeeper. So, you know, next season, more experience, settled defence, hopefully no injuries, and a very positive piece of, like, projection into next campaign, which could be really, really positive. So, yeah, I loved hearing that from the gaffer. And all season, I've never really, I've watched so many press conferences, guys. Even before I started this YouTube channel, 4 or 5 years ago, whenever it was. I used to do a podcast. I always used to watch Chelsea manager press conferences. I've never missed one, you know, or it'd be very, very rare. And I never really I love listening to Tuchel. I got a bit bored. I thought Conte was hella boring because his English wasn't great as well. But I'm starting to like Pochettino, and there is a character in there, and there's like a loving person, which I feel like is important. The players see it, the players all love him, but I think the media and the fans, or the Chelsea friends, need to eventually see it. Anyway, let's move on and talk about the game. So yeah, also leave me your comments down below with Pochettino's thoughts there, what you think of his words. So, first of all, let's have a look at the injuries, of which there aren't many at all. Now, Ben Chilwell and Carney are in team training, so they're not injured, which leaves, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, only 4 injuries. Sanchez is out, doesn't matter, it's a goalkeeper. So, really, only, here at the end of the season, 3 significant injuries. Enzo, of course, he had the surgery, so hopefully he'll be fit to go next season. Fofana, he's obviously coming back from an ACL, so hopefully he'll be good for the start of next season. And Lavia as well. So those 3 are out, those final 3, and hopefully there could be 3 really, really important players. I mean, they could, in some games, all start for Chelsea. But yes, it's finally reduced. Like, it's just so good to see, not 14, instead 4, you know. Amazing. So that's the injury situation, and we're playing a game against Brighton. So how did Brighton play? Well, they play like this, a 4-2-3-1. This is the lineup for the 1-1 draw last time out against Newcastle. Veltman, of course, the right back there, getting the goal. Chelsea Academy boys, obviously Gilmore, you can see there in the midfield. Of course, they've got Tarek Lamptey as well, who came on for Veltman at right back. He is a proper handful. But there's, Duncan Webster, good centre-backs. Verbruggen's done a right in goal. But, Pascal Gross is a great player. Gilmore's a great player. And then their attackers are all, there's three behind the Welbeck there, Dingra, and Ciso is a special player. Buonanotte, we've seen him do damage before. And Welbeck, he can get a goal, can't he? And of course they've got Evans, the young Irish guy that we've been linked to for far too much money as well. And they found a little bit of form. Of course, they were not winning at all. They were losing loads. They were getting touched up. The game before last, they lost 3-0 to Bournemouth, which is a bad look for De Zerbi. I think they're very much just metaphorically, spiritually, and literally on the beach now. But they got a win, and then they got a draw. I think they beat Villa 1. Yeah, they beat Aston Villa 1-0, which is a good result, by the way. Villa just drew against Liverpool. I know they've been tailing off a bit, but they're a great team. So it's a good draw for them. A win for them, and a draw against Newcastle is two good results. So they're finding a bit of form now, just before the this weird grudge match between Chelsea and Brighton, where it's a bit tasty now because they've had a few of our players, and Lamptey, Gilmore, Colwill when they're on loan, and of course we've taken loads of their players and loads of their staff and loads of their football scouts, sporting directors, and all that kind of boring stuff. And there will be Cucurella and Caicedo will get the treatment, won't they? So we'll see how they deal with it. So let's talk about how we'll set up, and I'm going to show you my lineup now. Now, the £14 million man, Petrovic, will start in goal. No other choice. He's been okay. He's found a little bit more form. I don't think he's had any howlers, but yeah. For me, there's a couple of moments where I think he could do better, but I just want a bit more of a commanding presence in goal. But, he could still got time. I think he'd be a very good second choice goalkeeper that could get better and better and better, to the point where if we've got an excellent first choice, if Petrovic comes in, it's not like a crisis. All right, so the centre-backs that I choose are Chalobah, who's the in-form centre-back, I suppose. Maybe a little bit not as good last time out, but he was playing right back, of course. I do want to see him back in the centre-back partnership with Thiago Silva. They look good together. And I feel like that's the best way to go about it. And they're both fit, so that's what I want. Chilwell, despite him being in team training, Pochettino says he's unsure if he'll be in the squad. And if that's the case, even if he's in the squad, he's certainly not going to start. So Cucurella, midfield inverty man, is going to start at left back, inverted commas. Gusta, I don't want to see any more Chalobah at right back, or Gilchrist, or Disasi. We've got two fit right backs. I don't think James will start. I think Gusto will start, play about 60 minutes, and Reece James will come on and finish. I wonder if Reece James will get the start at Stamford Bridge in the final game of the season. Which sees this kind of double pivot. Of course, Gallagher advances when Cucurella goes into the midfield. Let's do the in possession shape then, shall we? Oh no, it's more. Wait, it's not. No, because Gusto won't tuck in. That's why Chalobah plays right back. Ooh, all right. Maybe not inverting Cucurella. Maybe just standard fullbacks. Gallagher in a double pivot, and Palmer in the free role number 10. Jackson, of course, is going to start. Now the wingers is up for debate, ladies and gentlemen, because Raheem Sterling came on and scored a great goal, and Madueke had a close to terrible performance against Nottingham Forest. He was absolutely locked up by Olana. And so you could easily say Madueke gets benched and Sterling starts. But I have a feeling that tonight's gonna be a good night, that Madueke will get another start. I think Pochettino will trust him to find a bit of form again. And if he plays bad again, he'll get hooked. Sterling will come on. But I feel like he'll get given a chance to play. Bit tough on Sterling. I was even thinking maybe Sterling will start over Mudryk. Mudryk scored a great goal, of course, when he sort of made that run in behind, sort of cut in and scored from that Palmer pass. But I do think Sterling, who hadn't been featuring at all really, will basically be the substitute for either Madueke or Mudryk. Whoever's playing worse, Sterling will come on for. I know you could always put Palmer out to the right or whatever, but I feel like Sterling, if Madueke is off it again, if he's being marshalled well by the fullback and this defender, then Sterling can come on to either play right wing, or Palmer goes out. Mudryk can go in the middle sometimes, but I do think start Mudryk there, see what you can do, because Mudryk sort of fades in games. If you can get a good 50 minutes out of Mudryk, then that's worth trying. And yeah, other than that, in terms of substitutions, we see Sterling, and again, like I said, we could even see them move around like that, and Sterling could go on the left, and then Mudryk could come off. Of course, we've got a fully fit Nkunku. It'll be really interesting to see if he wants to start Nkunku. Imagine if Nkunku starts on the left. I don't think so, though. I think you won't want to risk him in terms of fitness, so I think Nkunku is like another 30-minute player. Do you know what I mean? And then that will probably be the players that you see. There's a chance Jackson could come off late, but he's trusted to play 90, isn't he? Which is really impressive, Jackson. I saw some stats, him since the beginning of March. His stats have improved exponentially. It's on my Instagram. Go take a look at Football Yannick. And then, of course, we'll see the likes of, where's the captain? Skipper, will come on for Gusto. And yeah, that's probably about it, man. But, Ugochukwu, is he available? He might come on for Gallagher. And yeah, lots of great players to turn to be fair. We can't use injuries as an excuse for this one, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, because we've got a good roster. I do think we're going to win this game. I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet, and it's going to be tough. I'm hoping it won't have to be another late winner, although I do wonder if it could be the same scoreline as Forest, a 3-2, for example, because... Or maybe I'm going to go for 2-1. I'm going to go for 2-1, but I'm going to hopefully think it's comfortable. Like, they'll get a goal, but it's later on, and we sort of, see out the game, God, I hope so. Because the Forest test was good. It was away from home. It was a party. We came back. We showed spirit after adversity. I don't want that adversity now. Brighton can't get to Europe. They're sort of not really doing much this season. The end of the season, it's on us. Do you know what I mean? So let's pray together. But let me know what you think, guys. Comment down below how you think this game will go. Again, let me know your thoughts on Poch's comments, because I'm interested to hear those. And yeah, thank you for joining me. We will return to the studio office soon at some point, but I've been very busy lately, so we've been here. All right. See you soon, guys. Peace.